What's going on? It's Justeeni here. I'm finally looking at the final tribe on Tiny Lakes. I've gone over literally every other tribe except Zabasi. Zabasi is a tribe. Yeah. I've noticed though, basically nobody plays Zabasi on Tiny Lakes. Like, I don't think I've actually seen a single game of all the Tiny Lakes games I've done, which is pretty interesting, but it does kind of make some sense. Zabasi's not that good on this map, believe it or not. But yeah, I have games, so you're gonna see what does the bossy do on Tiny Lakes. The answer may shock you. Ooh. So I decided to go Lighthouse opening. One interesting thing about Zabasi is because those 2 guaranteed farms, you are getting your first giant pretty reliably. You get 4 lighthouses, plus the 4 population from farms, plus the monument, that's 11 population right on your capital. You can do that every time, as long as you get Eye of God. Here I'm getting this lighthouse. So like you do have that consistent first giant, which is very nice. However, like you kind of feel a little overshadowed by like Jinji, mainly because your resources aren't as good and you're not getting more giants. Also, can't get archers and stuff easily. I go for riding in this case. This city is really sad, but it is what it is. I can take this city. So I'll have 4 cities. They also have 4 cities. They got a border growth on their capital for some reason, which just feels a little slow. But yeah, I really need to take this city if possible. I grabbed this lighthouse, which doesn't really do too much right now, but I can get the lighthouse with this city, right? That's why I didn't care about getting that too soon. So I get that lighthouse, and now I have Eye of God. Now I can get that guaranteed giant like I was talking about earlier. Exactly enough population just with the guaranteed resources and the lighthouses and monument. Bark of Fortune just goes here. And I do have to deal with this potential giant attack. It's a little bit annoying. I can steal the ruin because they decided to give it to me for some reason. And I can upgrade this. I really want to get this city so that I'm up in cities as opposed to not up in cities. There's a lot of farms here. They go in with the Juggernaut. Very risky maneuver. They siege here, which is fine because it's just a level 1 city. I don't think that was worth it at all. Now they don't have any units. Hit their Juggernaut. Now Free Spirit, which could lead to Shiv. Doesn't seem that useful though. They get a Catapult though, which is a little concerning. I can just take out their Juggernaut though. Now I go Construction Pre-Cap. And they decide to go with the Siege. That was their plan. They left the Juggernaut intentionally so they could do this. Was it worth it though? Well, I get this kill. And then... yeah, I happen to have Gate of Power here. I actually just got it this turn, and they're toast. I have 2 giants to their 0, and they get strategy, but this is just going to be too much. Even with the Central Lake, which they have a better time controlling, this is way too much. I'm getting a bajillion and a half giants. They can't really defend. But yeah, you can kind of see Zabasi construction rider roads. It's kind of like small lakes, but without the markets. I mean, I could get markets eventually. Like, I go like windmill, market. It's usually not worth it to get markets on Tiny because it's just, it takes too long to pay off. It's too committal, stuff like that. But anyway, I have some more games, so I'll go ahead and cut to that. Alright, so this was one against Imo, and Imo's like a sneaky good tribe on Tiny Lakes, but let's see what I can do with Zabasi. I find my village, and it kind of sucks, so I go for like this really weird rider opening, which kind of works. I did it because the opponent is Imo, and I was hoping to get lucky. It worked out. They just kind of back off now. I've got hunting, so I could go into archery if I really wanted, but I already have riding, so it's a little weird. I go for this workshop, because I can get 2 explorers to basically guarantee I've got anyway. Go climbing. Resource Rune is like insanely clutch here. And now this explorer barely makes it, gets this lighthouse as well, and that actually is going to mean I can get all 4 lighthouses on turn 6. Now, I will also say the opponent was having time pressure. Their play wasn't necessarily the best. But I get that turn 6 giant again. I used 2 animals instead of the second farm, but still, like, you're guaranteed that giant if you get Eye of God, which is really, really nice. Though, Zabasi's not the only tribe that has that luxury. Jinchi, like I mentioned earlier. but it still isn't over yet. I have 4 cities to the 3, but IMO can be very scary. There's a city wall there. Not that I'm planning on attacking there anyway. I siege with the 6 HP, of course, because they're going to mind bend it, give them the weaker rider. And now I can also take away this city. Suddenly, I can actually get Grand Bazaar on a tiny map. And I can just kind of keep pressuring them. Now, unfortunately for them, I have Vet Rider, and this is just too much pressure. But again, you can kind of see, again, consistently like Rider Roads, it's almost like, it's more comparable to like Omaji than it is Chinchi, really. So you don't see tribes going very Rider Road heavy, except maybe like Imperius, but even then, Imperius likes to go Math or Archers when they can, on tiny lakes at least. But anyway, I do have one more game, so I'll go ahead and cut to that. Alright, this one was against Omaji. I'm not going to highlight too much about this game. You might be able to figure out why I wanted to show this one. Nothing particularly interesting about the gameplay, but there is a we'll have the suspense, I guess. The Explorer happens. This isn't what's important. You're going to see in a little bit though. Look at this. Look at this city. Look at this city. Look at this. It reminds me of the good old days. Those who know, something Elite Ball reference, I don't know. Yeah, but the city's pretty good. Yeah, this doesn't happen often with Zabasi, but I do welcome it when it does happen. I did go for a rider opening because it's safer than construction, so I can't like immediately abuse this. But it is really funny. And that's what matters. Next turn I'm getting Eye of God. The opponent's just completely cooked. They didn't even get a second suburb for whatever reason. Well, probably because of where my suburbs are. Yada yada. They're just completely cooked here. What are they supposed to do? Funny farm spawn. I can actually get 2 giants here with just 1 monument, which is kind of insane. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Like and sub, and have a good one.